Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Midday Market Update. My name is Glenn, Senior Stock Market Strategist for VectorVest. Glad to be here. Glad to have you here. Hopefully, everyone had a good weekend. I had a great weekend. I did cookouts for two of my granddaughters, 10-year-old cookout and a 1-year-old cookout. So I'm all cooked out. If you can hear me loud and clear in the chat, please let me know in the chat, preferably with VV Nation. Let me know that I am coming across loud and clear, waiting for the alert to hit. And when it does, we will get started. Joey's in the background, my producer today. And we got a lot to talk about. A lot of earnings, a lot of big earnings again this week. And then, of course, the Fed decision. Most likely, Ryan and I will be on when the Fed gives its decision, which I think everybody knows that it's going to be unchanged for another quarter, how many weeks? About 6-7 weeks. So we'll see. Unless he comes out and goes, bam, I'm cutting. And the market will go crazy. The market will go so crazy. The alert hit. There he goes. So I'm low and clear. Thank you, Jeremy. Am I fat? He said I'm loaded. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see. So I'm glad everybody can hear me as you come into the room. But the big news again, a couple of big things happen or is going to be happening this week. The Fed meeting on Wednesday, and then Tesla. Holy smokes, Tesla's kicking butt and taking names. We're going to talk a little bit about that as well. All right, a lot of people here today. Okay, so evidently everybody's very interested about the stock picks that we got, and some really good stock picks for you going into the week. A lot of them are going to be big cap stocks, and I think that that's going to be the Monday video for the U.S. and Canada as well. It's going to be my top weekly big cap stocks. All right, Ura T, glad that you're here. Why is the dew still down when we're in an uptrend? Ooh, good question. How many of you watched the special presentation this week with the primary wave and what to look for with the primary wave? Type a 1 in the room. Now, Femi, going into the next few weeks, we're going to talk a lot more about our different market timing calls. This week was only about the primary wave. Probably we'll start talking next week about the DEW, then the confirmed call and some of the kickers and all that kind of stuff. But the DEW, even though the market is trending up, is it? And that's the key word, Femi, is it? And as a matter of fact, you look at today's activity, we've now moved from a lot of red to a lot of yellow and one green. The market is definitely moving higher. Thank you, Bill. The market is definitely moving higher, but is it? And, all of the major indices are up, not by a lot. The biggest mover looks like everything is down 0.3%. So I asked the question again, is it really? I'm going to get into the software, and we're going to start off. Good question. Really good question from a market timing perspective. XX Kid says, I'm new to the channel. Any videos to catch me up? XX Kid, we got a lot of content on our channel. I invite you to peruse the channel. We've got content on so many different topics. That is probably the easiest way to go. Now, let's talk about the market timing. We are currently in a primary wave up, right? The fastest indicator. What did I talk about? The underlying trend of the market. Coupled that with what I talked about on Friday. Look at this. We stopped today right at a level of resistance on the VVC or the VectorVest composite. And look at that. We're pulling away. Couple that with the MTI still below the value of 1. So we're trending higher, short-term trending higher, but the underlying trend of the market is still below 1. Remember, when I'm looking at these primary waves going up, I'm going to feel a lot more confident the market still has more upside when the underlying trend or the MTI is above the value of 1. Look at that. Primary wave up, uptrend. The underlying trend of the market is up as well. What did the market do? Boom, 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 went up. Market went down. Primary wave down. What was the underlying trend of the market doing? Trending lower. Finally, we got another down call. Soon after that, the underlying trend of the market went down. What did the market do? Boom, 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 went down. And we're back in the same cycle again. Primary wave is up, but the underlying trend of the market is not yet. So let me couple that with your question about why is the DEW down still? And let's go put on the DEW layout. Why? It's down because the detrended price oscillator, and again, we're going to talk a lot more in detail about this timing signal in the next coming weeks. Look at this. The DPO is still below zero. We are just getting to the point where the price of the composite is getting above the 30-day weighted moving average. It's not there yet. So Femi, that's a great question. And I wanted to be able to let you know, yes, we are trending higher, but we're in an uptrending market with the primary wave, but the underlying trend of the market is still down. And it backs up what we see today, where the price of the composite, let's go back to the market timing, the price of the composite was right at a level of resistance. All right. So from a market timing perspective, I'm not telling you not to take advantage of the market. For the past couple of days, market's been moving up. What do? You buy stocks long. Fastest indicator says go buy stocks long. But if I want to slow down and get more confirmation, then I want to have the underlying trend of them. I want an upward trending market, put on the primary wave again. I want an upward trending market to also be in an underlying trend of the market moving up as well. All right. Great question. I wanted to take advantage of that. Now, let's see what news is moving the market in the direction it's going right now. And there we go. Fed in a holding pattern as inflation delays approach to any soft landing. I think that this is not, unusual. It's not unusual to be loved. It's not unusual that the market is doing this, that the Fed is thinking this, because the key data that he's looking for is still running a little hotter, a little warmer than he would like for it. Now, here it is. Will earnings chair continue to buoy the markets? So we see the primary wave is up. The underlying trend of the market is down, but we are moving higher. Apple, Amazon, Pfizer, Coinbase lead the flurry of quarter one reports this week. Earnings keep stocks aloft as the Fed, at the start of a Fed week. And again, Ryan and I will be here on Wednesday to cover the Fed action. Felix says, thank you, Glenn. You are very, very, very welcome. Any more banks going under? I don't know yet. I still think that the other shoe for the bank still has to fall. I am not in BNKD just quite yet right now. I'm waiting for more banks to report. All right. Next one. Big story. Musk wins tentative clearance for Tesla driving systems in China. Big move for them in the market, but I let you know last week that Mercedes is a little ahead of them. All right, because they've got some temporary agreements for the full self-driving. So Tesla is in a sense catching up, but the news just buoyed the stock in a big, big way. So Tesla's on the rise. We're going to take a look at that today. How about this? So last week, Google came out and said that they were going to add a dividend. Amazon's going, hey, maybe we should do that too. Amazon earnings are coming. Could a dividend announcement be part of the mix? Now, in the story, the e-commerce giant would be following in the footsteps of Alphabet, Meta, which both announced their first dividend payouts ever in 2024. Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia also pay dividends, all which offer new investors a modest yield below 1. So it may not be a big dividend, but a dividend nonetheless will draw more people into buying the stock. That is why you pay the dividends. It is a reward from the company to say, hey, we're going to give you more money just for investing in the stock. I don't know what King Ali, I don't know what all coins are. Not sure. Pennywise says, I'm excited about Amazon. I've been long this stock since it was trading at 130. This could be, if they do announce, this could be big for Amazon. Now, the next three stories I do want to cover because they are commodities, starting with Southern Copper lifts output forecast amid tight metal market. So copper's been on the rise. I think that I like copper right now. I also like gold. I like and not like gold. It all depends on the dollar. If we got a strong dollar, gold feels the effects and goes down. With a stronger dollar, gold, with a stronger dollar, gold goes down. With a weaker dollar, gold goes up. But here's a story. Gold price firmer as big U.S. data week looms. And we'll keep an eye. So gold, I still think that the better play in the precious metals is silver. All right. So that's just my 2 cents, but both of them are moving. Now let's go over to Southern. Says Vogtle Unit 4 enters commercial operation. This one is on uranium. This is a power plant in Georgia. The plant Unit 4 nuclear reactor has entered commercial operation. Now, the thing about this is everybody's on the fast track to try to get into clean energy. I think one of the best clean energy plays, in my opinion, is still going to be nuclear power. And I did a story about a year ago talking about all of the different countries that were going to start getting on board with smaller nuclear generators and things of that nature. Uranium should have been moving way before now, but it took a big hit. I think right now it's coming out of what I would call uranium winter and starting to pick back up. So I like copper, I like uranium, I like gold. And you know what else I like that's starting to move again? Lithium. So there's 4 commodities that are on my radar that I think you just need to keep your eyes on. Kathy says, does gold change with the Canadian dollar, US dollar? I believe mainly it is controlled by the US dollar more so than anything. And without me looking deeper into it, that's what I think. That's what I think. All right, next story. How about this? Turkish Airlines seeks to buy 235 planes from Boeing, still with Boeing and Airbus. Your Uncle Glenn has been telling you that I think Airbus is a better play right now than Boeing to pick up more orders. But as I go down the list, the airline going into the story, the airline last year said it wanted to expand its fleet by about 600 planes over 10 years. And Turkish Airlines said it ordered 355 planes from Airbus, all right, because Boeing was going through some stuff, but they're going both ways. They're negotiating. There it is. We are negotiating with both Airbus and Boeing for the remaining 235 planes. Now, it's interesting. With the situation that Boeing is in, does Boeing try to undercut Airbus by lowering the price, or do they just stand pat? Interesting. I'm not exactly sure. But Lee says Boeing looks like it's bottoming. And every time Boeing looks like it's trying to take one step forward, something happens and they end up taking 3 steps back. So every time I try to get upbeat about Boeing, they just let me down each and every time. So I just take it as it goes. FLS makes parts for nuclear reactors and oil pipelines, worth a look as a pick and a shovel play. Let me know when we look at stocks, and Jake, do the same thing. When we look at stocks, I'll take your stock picks. You know me, Glenn loves him some Apple. Apple upgraded at Bernstein ahead of earnings. And you know, Apple got on board with Baidu. China did the same thing. You know something? If you're going to try to put yourself in the best light in any stock, especially in another country, go on board with the leader of whatever you're looking for in that country. And Baidu is it. So Apple jumped on board with them. Tesla now jumped on board with them. They're trying to push their products in the Chinese market. I'm going to give Apple a look today. And one last story, 3 new 2-time long ETFs to launch. AMDL for AMD, Amazon, and Microsoft. These are all 2-time leverage ETFs. So with that story, and I just talked to our database department, they're going to try to get these 3 in. I've got a lot of stocks, a lot of ETFs that accommodate trading in just one stock. And for that, I'm going to get into the software once again. And I want to show you the list. I want to show you the list of the stocks that I have. Scroll down to, what is it? Single stock ETFs. I got a list of stocks for you guys, and I don't know how many of them you have or don't have, but I've got 24 bullish and bearish single ETFs for stocks right here, starting with Tesla at the top all the way down. So the first thing I'm going to do, let's sort this by RT. Which ETFs are on the rise the fastest? All right, sorted by RT. Tesla up. Look at that. The ETF for Tesla, the bullish one, TSLL, 34% today. TSL, 21% today. So goodness gracious, Google down, Nvidia down. As a matter of fact, so I sorted it by which ETFs were moving the fastest. Let's see which ones are going up the most today. Tesla's at the top. Apple, look at that. AAPB up 6% today. AAPU up 6.1. One of them is a 1.5 leveraged and one is a 2-time leverage, in case anybody wanted to ask me. Platinum is up today. Google bearish is up today. Interesting about that. Alibaba up. Microsoft, Nvidia. Man, folks, how many of you have a watch list of all of these single ETFs? Would you say something, Joey? Did you belch?
No.
Oh.
I dropped something.
You dropped something. How many type of 1 if you've got your own watch list of all of these stocks? Type of 2 if you don't. And I'm going to leave this up for a while. Whether you do it now, take a screenshot, or after the video is recorded, after the live stream is recorded. If you don't have them, come back, watch the recording, and you can get a listing of all of the stocks that I have. Some of these are directions, 3-time leverage, or, so this is a great list. If you do not have it, I want you to take a screenshot now or wait until the video is done and go back through. Everybody should have this list of single stock ETFs, every one of them. T says, I don't have all of them, but most of them, and that's fine. I think that all of you should have a watch list like this. Now, how many of you thought that this was useful to stop by today? Type a yes or a no. I think this could make a big difference in your investing. Just to look at, I have a watch list of these ETFs. So let me know. How do I find for Canada? Kathy, I have not created one for Canada. I'd have to. You don't have a lot of ETFs in the Canadian market. All right. There's not a lot. So I don't know. I mean, I can make a limited one for the Canadian market, and I will try to do so. All right. I will try to do so. But this, folks, I really think if you especially the big movers, and if I scroll over, a lot of these are optionable, and they're a lot less expensive than the actual stocks as well. The new ones, I told you what the new ones were, T. AMDL, AMZZ, and MSFL. I will get those added to the list as soon as they get added to our database. I will get these 3 added to the list as soon as I get them added to our database. All right. So with that, you're welcome, T. Man, ain't you watching? Ain't you paying attention? Should be paying attention. All right. So I wanted to start off with that because I want to keep on top of whatever is new to add it to the list as well. Is Tesla all hype now, or will this reverse the trend? That's a good question. So let's go up to the stocks, the big news stocks. These are the stocks that came from the articles. Let's go take a look. All right, I'm going to grab. So we've got Amazon earnings, Southern Copper again, a commodity I'm interested in. Southern, which is the uranium. There's Tesla, 17% up today. Gold, those were my 4: copper, uranium, gold, and lithium. All of them are up today. Apple got upgraded prior to earnings. Uranium also goes with the SO. That is the Global X on uranium. I still think that Airbus is a better play than Boeing right now, especially with people having to still buy more planes. SMCI, I'm not ready for it yet. I'll let you know when it's time to give me your stocks. How can we see your list? You're only going to be able to see it in a recording or take a screenshot The lists that I have here are on my VectorVest 7. Thus, the reason why I want to give you all of the symbols so that you can create your own list. Amazon has a new deal to stream NBA games. That's something else that I did see that's going to be big. Another Devil Dog. Long time no see, Devil Dog. Glenn, I've missed your commentary. Well, way to go, Shay. T, say hi to Shay. Shay, say hi to T. Gotta keep all those Marines in here together. Is there a schedule for VV Nation YouTube shows? Jose, if you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon, you will get an alert when a new VectorVest video or short comes out. Not on shorts, I don't think, but on videos. So that's how you get that information. All right. And all you have to do is subscribe to the channel. All right. Let's go look at the stocks that made the news. Let's go peep them out. 3-month graph. I don't want to look at the star search. I actually want to look at this on the net profit on the near perfect indicator. All right. Let's go take a look. See if any stocks are worth it. Amazon news. All right. That's news driven. I'm looking at, we do have trend. Oh, where's my other one? Trade my near perfect. Where's the one that I got for the stream? Dang it, Joey. Joey broke it. It's all Joey's fault. It's always Joey's fault. Where is it? Live stream MPI. There we go. So I added a couple of things. I added the 20-day exponential moving average, and I also added volume. What is the heck? What is that? That's the stop price. I don't know if I need the stop price. I'm going to take that off. I don't think I need the stop price. Boom. All right, but I do have the 20-day exponential moving average. I like that it's back above it, and we do have trend. We don't have trigger, though. The volume is pretty okay. So right now, the Amazon is news. You know how else I know that? Look at today's candle. It's a closed candle, which means the price is here. The open was at the top. That's giving back off of the news. So who asked me the question about the news? Who asked me about this? Somebody just did. Sigh. All right. Anyway, Pennywise, you're Army Airborne. I'm not a Marine, but U.S. Army paratrooper. You gotta appreciate all the folks that serve. All the folks that serve. Even though we mess with you because we're the best military in the world and we're the best branch of the military in the world, but gotta appreciate everyone who served. I understand the star search and have made money because of it. I still don't understand the MPI. Oh my goodness. We've got so much content on the MPI, looking at moving average of the stop price of the stock along with moving averages of relative timing and putting them together to give you a good picture of when it's the right time or not the right time to be in a stock. So Jeremy, we've got, and Joey might put up a video for you if he can find it on some of the content that we've done on the MPI. All right, so Amazon right now, based on price action, a lot of news, a lot of give back prior to earnings. Very interesting. There is on copper. Copper's on the run. I like it. Me likey. We got trend. We got trigger. We got rising volume. Not today yet, but rising volume. Copper I like. Me likey copper. All right, next one. This is on the uranium play, a little bit of a sideways move, but I love that we've got trend, trigger, and volume. There's a lot of conviction behind the move of that play. Again, specifically looking at uranium. I'd like to see it, though, before I take it, if I'm not already in it, I'd like to see it jump above that 74.85 mark, which is the current 3-month level of resistance. Wow, Tesla, big move. I got I got no trend, I got trigger. This is news driven, but it's got a lot of volume behind it. We'll see. Looking at it today, it's trading at session highs. So I do like that. Very little wick at the top. I do have a wick at the bottom showing me some buying strength. But right now, this is news. And based on the news, out of all the last 3 months, just hit a buy. That's a big jump in one day. And I don't want to bet the farm behind it yet. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes or no? I like the move. I like the news. I like the graph. But I'm not ready to bet the farm on it yet. Does that make sense to everybody? All right. I have a short. Should I hold? Richard, in regards to that, you should have stops in place. Something tells me that the Tesla move went through your short play. And if that's the case, then that answers your question. If that's the case with Richard, if it hit your stops, leave it. If it hasn't hit your stops, I'm of the mindset to take half off the table. I'm off the mindset to take half off the table. It could have some downside still, but that's a lot. 2 gaps, non-filled. Normally gaps like to be filled. So I would keep my eye on Tesla. From a day trade today, I take it. From a day trade today, I take it. I don't know if I would hold it overnight, but I would take it. Thank you, everyone, who have served on this channel, who have provided my family and myself with the freedoms that are often taken for granted. You got it, Blaine. You got it. So evidently, we've got some people. We got at least 3 Marines and one Army person in here. So I appreciate everybody who served as well. All right, let's go to the next one. Let's go. This is gold. Gold has been moving. Look at that. Above the 20-day earning. Now, I'm watching as it's pulling off of the high, but still above the 20-day. Volume is shrinking up. We're getting less conviction in the move of gold right now. Again, I think Jeremy's another Army, got an Air Force. There we go. And one Submariner. Ooh, you know something? You got to be some kind of person to be on a submarine for like 6 months or more. You got to be. So I don't know if I could do that. The quarters are tight on the submarine, and you're underwater. I need to come up every so often to see the sun and take a breath of air. I got to do that. I don't know if I would be able to pass the psych eval to be on the submarine. I just don't see it. I love all these people typing in your branches. Got to say thank you to every one of you who are typing in your branches. My daughter's in the Air National Guard. She just came back off a deployment. I told her if anything went down, go find a Marine and give him your rifle and let him know that your dad is a Marine. He'll take care of you. None of that ever happened. So Royal Marines. Oh, look at that. Is that over? I'm assuming that's in England, I'm assuming, or in Canada. Is there Royal Marines in Canada? Or Royal Army. All right. So watch gold. I still like the play, but I'm looking at the falling volume. I'm looking at the trigger, not crossed down. All right, not closed down, but I'm telling you, keep your eye on gold. I think silver may be a better play. All right, lithium all over the place. Recently just jumped up. We haven't had trigger or trend yet, but lithium has gone through some stuff because of the lack of motivation to buy EVs right now. But something is pushing it higher. I'd be very careful with lithium. I love the move, but it is volatile and all over the place. And just all over the place. Bashir says, I'm in Glenn's Army. I'm not in the Army. I'm in the Marine Corps. Sigh. All right. And you're welcome, Prakash. Be careful with lithium. I like the move, but be careful. Apple. A lot of selling pressure on today's candle. I got trigger. Volume started pulling back a little bit. This is going right before earnings. It did get upgraded. I think with the upgrade, it got a bump up and it gapped up. But look at the selling pressure. Look at the selling pressure and look at the trend. Look at the trend. So we'll see. What he says, what about the Nasdaq? The Nasdaq is, hold on. Let's go look at this real quick. QQQ. Let's go look at the Nasdaq. 3-month graph. Little sideways over the last 3 months. Definitely a little sideways over the last 3 months. With all of the big tech companies, you would think the Nasdaq would be more in an uptrend than it is. A little pullback, now above the 20-day, no trend, no trigger. I still, personally, I don't know if earnings is enough to keep the market moving higher, but we'll see. A lot of these companies have to report. Some of them are going to miss. That's going to affect the market. Some of them are going to hit. That's going to affect the market. But if I'm looking at the Nasdaq, all right, if I'm looking at the Nasdaq, I'm looking at the Qs. This catches my attention. This is a sideways move. This is a sideways move on a 3-month basis. I like the uptrend, boom, 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 boom. But right now, over the last 3 months, moving sideways. All right. Tesla and Baidu, big agreement. Yep. So we've already talked about that, Akshaya. Tesla did it. Apple did it. I just don't know. After we looked at Tesla, I don't know if it's just all news driven or not. I just don't know if it's all news driven or not. All right. As much as I like Airbus as an alternative play to Boeing, look at that. It is below the 20-day exponential moving average. We're about to lose trend on it. I'd be careful with this one. I like it as an alternative play to Boeing, but the stock's price action is not helping me out. There's a new branch of the military, VV Nation Corp, Generals Glenn and Ryan. Oh boy. And Joey will be like a private. Yeah, that Joey's the lowest ranking person in that military. VV Nation Corp. VV Nation, a new high for the day. I know that, Bill. All right, but we'll go back and look at it again. But Boeing, look at that. Boeing is even starting to pick up right now. Someone said that Boeing might have bottomed. And you know something? Can't hold a good company down forever, can you? You can't hold a good company down forever, can you? 6 months? You might, hold on. Let's talk about that. Where's RT? Oh, I already got RT down there. I'm going to think that Boeing, I'm going to change the graph layout. I'm going to put this on the Glenn trade where I'm looking at the 3 and the 8. The 3 is about to cross the 8. Was it Lee? Lee, was it you? Was it you that said that Boeing might have bottomed? I do like the 3 crossing above the 8 today. I don't like the volume though. As the stock is going up, look at the volume. Look at the, I'd like the possibly bottoming, but this doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy. Watching Boeing go up without the volume. Does that make sense, Lee? I like the move, but I don't, and RT is below 1. So a couple of things I'm looking for. If Boeing has bottom, let's go see if RT can get above 1. Not only that, I like to see the price move with volume. I like to see the price move with volume. I agree Boeing will be hot in a year. I think Boeing is still a good company. Relative value, relative safety, both below 1, but a lot of this is public relations. A lot of ill things happening with Boeing. But when it ran just like that. You put your hands upon my hips. When I dip, you dip, we dip. They ran. And then that's when they were rocking, and then they were rolling. All right. And that was the last stock. All right. So those are all my big name stocks. Some that I like. Some of them I think are just news driven right now. So I want you to just keep your eyes on them. But I think the commodity stocks I really feel comfortable about. Earnings this week. Out of all of the stocks, I think I brought up like 38 stocks. Yeah, 38 stocks in my top. Somebody wanted to hear about SMCI. I'm sorting this by VST. So the stocks that have the highest value safety time on top of the list, SMCI, Amazon, Novo. So SMCI, way overvalued, fundamentally sound. It's got an RT above 1, and it's got a VSCI above 1. Let's go look at the earnings. I want to look at the earnings growth. I want to look at these are the stocks that have earnings coming up. I want you to concentrate on 2 things going into earnings for these stocks. Relative safety is above 1. These are the stocks that are going to have the higher probability to meet or exceed earnings expectations. Number 2, I want you, I'm going to look at all of these real quick, but not real quick. I want you, when you graph these, all right, I want you to look at relative safety. So I'm going to change this graph up a little bit. I'm going to rename this. I'm going to do something different. And I want you guys to consider using this when you start looking at earnings for a stock. Everybody paying attention? Yes or no? I'm going to build a graph layout for you specifically on earnings. Everybody paying attention? Yes or no? Everybody paying attention? Yes or no? I'm not moving until you answer me. because this is going to be utilizing the power of the VectorVest software to help you in regards to earn when earnings come up for a stock. All right, so we're going to build this. One, I want to look at relative safety. I'm going to graph it. I'm going to put this on a 6-month graph. I want to graph it. Interesting. When I look at relative safety, it is still above 1, but falling. Okay. What else do I see? I see the trend of the stock moving down. All right. These are the things that make me go, All right. Overall, the stock is trending down from the high. I like the bounce from a technical standpoint. I like the hammer, and I like the move up. All right. Let's look at earnings growth. Ooh, you'll only find that here, as well as you'll only find relative safety here. Earnings growth, and I'm going to make this nice and dark. Change the style. And I'm going to do the same thing for relative safety. Change the style. And I want you guys to consider this as your earnings graph. I'm going to save this as an earnings graph. So, a couple of things. Stock overall is trending lower. Okay. I like the rebound. All right. Remember, this is coming into earnings. I like the rebound. But when I'm looking at earnings growth, you know what else I like to look at to substantiate the earnings growth? Because earnings is the engine that drives the stock's price higher. Actually, let's put earnings per share on as well. I got to do that. Sorry about that. Change the style. Earnings is rising. Earnings is rising. So I've got three things in my favor prior to earnings. The nice move up coming off of a technical indicator. Relative safety, I'm not feeling warm and fuzzy about, but it's still positive. Earnings growth and earnings both rising. This tells me, with these indicators, that the stock is going to have a high probability of beating earnings. The other side of it, though, is revenues. And 9 times out of 10, if they miss what the street wants them to hit, it's going to drive the stock's price lower. But when I can look at earnings and earnings growth and relative safety, I have a good probability that the stock is going to meet or exceed earnings. I am going to save this layout, graph layouts, save, modify, and I'm going to add new layout. We're going to call this earnings graph. Earnings graph. All right. Click on that and click on close. Did I put on the sales growth? I did not. Let's go find it. Add a parameter. Sales growth. I'm going to add sales growth to this. Look at that jump in sales growth. Change the style. Make that a little darker. Click on OK. I like the stock going into earnings. I like the stock going into earnings. What I showed you, does it make sense why I feel that way? Yes or no? Does sales growth show sustainability for SMCI? Absolutely. You know, earnings is the engine that drives the stock's price higher, but sales is the fuel. Sales is the fuel. So I'm looking over the last 6 months. It's higher than it was 6 months ago. Folks, this, for everybody out there who always asks me, what do you think about this stock for earnings? What do you think about this stock for earnings? What do you think? I want you to build this in the software. I've got to go back to save, modify, earnings graph. Let me save the changes because I put sales growth on there. Folks, this could be huge. The power of the VectorVest system can help. It could be huge for you making those determinations. Let's go to Amazon. Woof. Love the move. There is bounce. Love the move. You know what else I want to add to this? Volume. No, I want to add average volume. Add parameter, price volume, average volume. Click it. This catches my attention. Let's make this darker. volume shows conviction. Now, that's conviction to the stock's move. But if I'm looking at earnings, if I'm, Glenn, how to put forward guidance on the chart? As if you are looking at my face, right? I ain't got forward guidance. When I've got my earnings is forecasted. So earnings growth is forecasted. This is all forecasted. But if I had forward guidance, I'd tell you every stock that would meet or not. Now, I don't have forward guidance. I'm only messing with you because I need you to look in my face because I ain't got that. All right, real quick, let's run through. This is going to help all of you with the questions that you have about the stocks. These are all stocks that are coming up with earnings. Novo Nordisk. I got positive earnings growth. Relative safety is higher than it was 6 months ago. Man, look at this. CCJ, I can very quickly tell that it's a volatile stock. Little sideways move. But rising earnings growth, earnings per share, sales growth, volume is falling. Volume, the average volume on a lot of these are falling. Cigna, I can draw. You know what else I need on here? Yeah, I need to add one more parameter. Technical analysis, support resistance. Got to have support and resistance. All right. Everybody in the room, are you comfortable in making this graph? Yes or no? Everybody in the room, are you comfortable in making this graph? Yes or no? All right. And if you're not, if you put a no, I want you to go back and look and watch the video again. And it just takes you, I just took everybody step by step on how to build an earnings graph that you can look at for any stock that's got earnings coming up. How do I save it? So I added support and resistance, right? Now I go to save, modify. I already named it. Earnings graph, save the changes. Now I'm going to show you something. Let me go to Star Search. All right, there's the Star Search graph. Let's go find my earnings graph. Bingo! Right there. All right, there you go. Average volume is something I haven't used. Thanks for the tip. I want to make sure, that's more of a technical play in regards to coming into earnings. Is there conviction behind the move? That's a technical play. But earnings, relative safety, earnings growth, earnings per share, sales growth, that's the stuff that you need. I'm watching earnings per share on CI, though. Still positive, but falling a little bit. Folks, you can do some great analysis based on what I just showed you here. Wow, look at Domino's. I want pizza now. All right. So again, was it worth it to build this today, to come by and look at this today? Was it worth it? I want to make sure. I don't want to ever waste anybody's time in here. But here's all of the stocks that have earnings coming out. Was this worth it just for funsies? Go back and look at Tesla for funsies. What the heck is funsies? Did we get the Tesla? Tesla was at the top, right? No? Where was Tesla? Tesla, we don't need that. Let's go find Tesla real quick. New graph. Let's go look at Tesla. Tesla should have been bad, right? Tesla should have been bad. Let's put this on a 6-month graph. Earnings was falling. Earnings growth was falling. Relative safety was falling. Let's go put earnings on. Holy smokes. Remember, I said there should have been nothing good about the earnings call on Tesla. And guess what? The graph showed it. The graph showed it. But this is an instance where I got no control over this. News comes out, they put out, we missed earnings, we missed revenue. Oh, but we're going to get the self-driving car. We're working on that, and we're going to do the robo-taxi. We're working on that. And people went back crazy over it. Looking at it fundamentally, that shouldn't have happened. I got no control over that, though. I got no control over that. Ramor is right. That was news-driven. You guys agree with that? Type of 1, if you agree with the Tesla move, was news-driven. Type of 2, if you think that Tesla should have run up. That Tesla should have run up. That was news-driven, and the graph shows it. Bingo. I love being able to show this kind of stuff real time without having to tote the company line And for all you people who do not have access to the software yet, go to www.vectorvest.com/YT. We'll give you a trial where you can set this up for $9.95 for 30 days. But for every stock you guys are asking for, what do you think about the earnings on the stock? What did you say, Apple? Let's go look at Apple real quick. I love this. This is cool stuff right here. And I love to be able to do it in the moment. Now, Apple is interesting, right? Relative safety is falling off. That's our indicator of a company meeting or exceeding its earnings expectations, right? Earnings growth, rising. Nice stair-step effect. Earnings per share, rising. Sales growth, rising. Even though sales are soft in China, rising. Look at the average volume. There's conviction to this move. Honestly, take that off. Honestly, I think Apple beats. Based on the data, I think Apple beats. Now, keep in mind, I got no control over what they say that could move adverse to what I think. But it's not what I think. It's the data. It's the power of the VectorVest system that's answering the question. Not my 2 cents. Not Joey's 2 cents. Glad Joey didn't put his 2 cents. This is, can we look at coin? Absolutely. Let's go look at that. Actually, we're going to bite into your stock time, but I'm okay with that today because this is important stuff when it comes down to stocks meeting or for earnings. Coin. It's making money. Look at the earnings growth. Look at the earnings per share. Look at the sales growth. Average volume is pulling back. I can see where it's at from a level of support resistance. Based on the data, it should beat earnings. Wow. So coin is in there, X financials. So is this helpful? I think it's helpful. I think it's helpful. Now, again, I'm just looking at the data and what it should be. What it will be is a different story. What it will be is a different story. ITL. I'll look at, I ain't got it. I think you gave me the, I think you gave me the wrong ticker symbol, I think. SLV. I don't know if that, again, I want to only look at stocks that have earnings this week. I love this layout and we saved it. SLV, does it have earnings this week? It don't look like it. It don't look like it right there. But if I'm looking at it from an earning, what is that? That's 6 months. Oh, it's an ETF. So it's only, I can't look at earnings growth and all that stuff. But average volume, people are jumping on board with it. All right. And RT, where's the RT? It is above 1. Difference with an ETF as compared to a stock. All right. Meta did not follow the thinking on earnings. Again, I got no control over that, but at least I can put into my hands what should happen based on the data. Where's the earnings? But you know what I think about this when it comes down to Meta? Based on the data, I think it's got good upside potential. I'm looking at, you can't fight the tape. I understand news happens, stories, all that stuff. But I can't fight the tape that the growth of the earnings is sitting at 30%. Earnings per share rising. Sales growth rising. Who said that about? Mark, does it make sense that based on the data, Meta's got good upside? Mark or anybody can answer that question. I think that this stuff, I got no control over. But if I look at it, I think that this has, I know what it says, Lou, but I'm looking at if earnings is the engine that drives a stock's price higher, it's moving. If sales is the fuel that moves it higher as well, it's up there. Guidance won over earnings. So that was the news behind it, the forward guidance. And people, said, okay, but based on the tape, Mark, it looks like it's got some upside. We'll see. All right. We're almost done. I think if anything, hold on. Let's go back to the viewers tab. What else do I have? Where's the money going today? Again, I'll probably only look at a few of your stocks. How about that? What's in the commodities? What's moving? Let's go see. Natural gas. I keep telling y'all that's a day trade. Has anybody ever done any testing with just buying boil and cold on a day over day basis? Type a yes or a no in the room. I'm thinking about doing that. Problem is I just don't have the time throughout the day to do it because it's a day trade. But I'm wondering how profitable you could be by trading boil and cold. And Akshaya, I'm with you. Cold, because stocks tend to go down more than tend to go down faster than they go up. Cold is probably the better play, but I'm very curious to see if I could day trade, starting at the market open, or better yet, I found a story that said we trade, stocks trade 390 minutes a day, but only 10 minutes count. And it's at the end of the day. Interesting. I want to look more into that. I think the first half an hour of the market open and the last half an hour of the first half an hour of the open, the last half hour of the market open are the two most volatile times in the market. I think that idealistically, if you want to trade, those are the times to do that. But I have an issue with trading at the end of the day because anything can happen news-wise overnight and affect that trade going into the next day. So I'm just very curious about being able to effectively day trade boil and cold. But natural gas, where's the money? Look at that. Lithium's up today. Uranium is up today. Real gold, energy, copper, silver. Where's the money not going? Yang. See, people are getting bullish on China. I'm still not, but maybe I'm just in the minority. But the bearish on China is down today, which means Ying must be up. Where is it? I got Yang. How come I don't have Ying? Isn't there a Ying? There should be a Ying to a Yang. Ying? No. What's the bullish side of China? Anybody? I swore it was Ying. What's anybody? What's the bullish side of China? Anybody? Prakash, in order to get more people to have a play, I'm not going to take all of those. Is it Yin? YINN. There we go. It's Yin. Thank you. Sitting there and go, I know there's a bullish side. And where's the money? You may add the bullish side of China is up today. All right. I can never make money in boil or cold, have lost a ton, never touching them again. I've said that on more than one occasion, but I'm thinking that I can day trade it. I'm going to set up a portfolio where I'm going to try to day trade, and then I'll let you know how it works out. Speculative plays, I'm going to give you some fish real quick. 1 day optionable. I've got 10 stocks for you right here. These are all moving up. These are technical plays because it's looking at the MPI, and they're all optionable. I like that they're low dollar. I love giving you these. These are lower dollar stocks that are optionable to even leverage your money more. Keep your eyes on these, all right? These are MPI 1 day optionable, but keep in mind the MPI is a technical layout, all right? So you'll notice that the fundamentals on these stocks may not be good at all. But these are trades for you to keep your eyes on. And then the MPI enhanced, a little bit more expensive stock, still using the MPI. All right. But you'll find that some of these, the enhanced side, some of these do have fundamentally sound stocks. These could be more for your swing trades, whereas the 1 day is more for the day trade or short-term trade, few days. How about Alarm hit it again? This stock. How many people have traded this since I first told you about it? Type of 1. How many of you have started trading this when I first gave it to you? All right, just type of 1 in the room. Holy smokes. I put a lot of people onto this in a video. I put it as a new stock to keep your eyes on. I'm so happy that you guys are making money off of it. What else is in here? Domino's is in here. How about The drone company AVAV made it in here. The SVIX in here. So a lot of good stocks as fish for you. Rule, Glenn, smaller companies can't authorize buybacks within 30 minutes of the trading day. Larger companies can't authorize them. What is that for? As far as I'm not worried about that in the smaller companies. The smaller companies are designed to put a little bump in your pocket, in your portfolio. A lot of these smaller dollar stocks, hopefully you guys are not buying all of them. These are just a couple that I want you to keep your eyes on. Contras, really keep eyes on, an up day today, but it was a modestly higher day today. What contras are moving? SVIX and Webs. All right. Makes sense that these are getting killed because it's an up day. Weekly customer picks, I'm going to get there in a second. I got one more set of fish for you. Lower dollar stocks, these are speculative plays. These are my speculative plays for you that are all moving. All right. So because you heard me say the word speculative, and they're mostly optionable as well, I do not need you guys to be backing up the truck on these as well. These are low dollars. Some of these are penny stocks to keep your eyes on. These are low dollar speculative plays. All right. This may affect the last 10. Oh, is that what you're saying? Thank you, Ramon. Now that made sense. All right. I've been holding a large since Glenn first brought it to my attention. Way to go. When do big banks start showing the record to fall? Something? I don't know. I don't know. I'm still keeping my eye on the bank stocks. Having a roller coaster with my Palantir calls puts anyone opinions aiming to Palantir is definitely a stock that you've got to time. I like it. I've been in and out of it. So you got to time it though. I think the company should be going gangbusters. All right. Now put your stocks in. I think I'm only going to look at 10. All right. Thank you, Roy. I'm going to put in 10, the first 10 that come up. Now, if you put in more than one, I'm only going to take your first one. If you put in more than one, I'm only going to, you all need to be typing. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. My ship order hit 6, 7, 8, 9. What came after TLT? RTX. 10. All right, those are my stocks. Now, for everyone who typed in stocks earlier and said, well, you didn't look at my stock, that's because I didn't ask you for them then. We're going to keep law and order in the room. You need to type them in when I ask you to type them in, please. All right? When I ask you to type them in, please. So, with that, skipped over me. Christopher, don't say that. Where you at? I'm looking. Nope, I think you would have been one of my Lex 2 stocks because after RTX would have been BNKD and IESC. I got a record here. So no, I didn't skip over you. There's 10 stocks. You would have been stock number 12. So I didn't skip over you. Don't tell me that. Since subscribing to VectorVest software, I've gained money in the past 4 months, what it took me 12 months without last year. Way to go, Brian. Thank you for that. Thank you very much for that. Law and order in the room. Glenn, the sheriff, speaks. All right. So now you know. Thank you, Brian. That's an awesome testimony. That's an awesome testimony. All right. Let's graph all of these. And I'm going to put this on a different graph. I'm going to go back to the 3-8 graph. I haven't used that much. Let's go look at, where is it? Glenn trade. Trade. All right. So stocks you gave me, Parker Hanfin. The 3-8, it's above the 3-8 and the 20. Volume's pretty steady. Don't need dividend. I don't need dividend. I'm watching RT on it, though. That makes sense that it's falling as the stock is moving sideways. I am going to draw a level of support. I like the 3-8 and the 20. A little bit of indecision today. RT is still above 1, but falling. Volume's pretty steady, and it's still a buy. I'd like to see it take out this level of the 3-month high, though, sitting at about 70.47. whoa, what? 570.47. But if you want to be aggressive and buy it now, you can. But keep in mind, that's where your next headwind is coming in at. Next one, ship. I put in an order that was good to canceled. And Prakash, I didn't skip you either. See, why y'all making me go back and look? Rig. Oh, I did. No, I didn't skip you. You were further down the list too, Prakash. All right, I'm not listening to all you people that told me that I skipped you because I didn't. I'm just going back and look. I didn't skip you. All right, ship must have hit. I do like the 3, the 8, and the 20. I like the rising RT. I'm going to leave it alone. One day doesn't make a trend. All right, one day doesn't make a trend. All right, so I'm going to leave it. I got a lot of buying pressure on it, but it just hit for me today when I put it in my good to cancel order. AEYE, good, googly muggly. That wasn't earnings, was it? No, earnings was a few days ago, but since earnings, the 3.8 went up. The stock is moving right at a 3-month high. Little wick at the top, big open body, good volume. I like it. I like the play. Glenn, loved your macro play-by-play with the Star Search last week. Getting in and out of the trades is not a strong suit of mine, so keep these coming, please. Listen, Chris, that was also done on a whim from the presentation. How do I get out of these stocks, like my SMCIs, my AMDs, all that? So that was generated by a comment. Janice says at VectorVest, I'll call you out and give you a look. Oh, yeah. What did I do now, Janice? Oh, we talk about the sheriff part. Sorry. I do like AE, and look at the movement over the last 3 months. Bottom left, top right, gotta love that. I like that play. And I cannot lie. Woo! Primerica. How many of y'all ever got caught in trying to work for Primerica on that, what is that called? Scheme thing? I was in it, along with Amway. What's that called? There's a name for it. Pyramid scheme. I was part of Primerica a long time ago. Didn't work out too well, but I just see the company. That's what made me ask that. Ship was one of your past fish. Yeah, I know, but I was waiting for the buy to sell. The good to cancel order came in, and finally it did. Multi-level, more MLM. Yeah. Anyway, Primerica is below a current level of resistance. The 3 and 8 are about to cross. It is below the 20. RT is below 1. I need this stock to get out of its way. It did have a nice time up here, pulled over. I need the 3 to cross, and I need to get above this level of resistance. All right. I need to get above that level of resistance. I'm not ready to take that yet, but I do like the rising. RT. It's getting close, but no cigar. KWEB. Gappy. I don't like gappy stocks. All right. I don't. Hi, Mark. I don't like gappy stocks. But the stock is moving up. I'm not going to tell you not to take it. The 3 is above the 8, which is above the 20. Volume is there. I don't like gappy stocks. Do with it as you want. Next stop. Rig. Bounced off support. The 3 is about to cross the 8. I'm looking at a point right about here where the 3, the 8, the 20 should cross. So I'm looking at a price of about 605 before I get in. The 3 to 8, break above resistance, break. Yeah, I'm looking somewhere in that price range. That's just a guesstimation on my part, looking at where they can all converge. But I do like the bounce off support. I like the 3 crossing, getting ready to cross above the 8. It's got to get, I need to take that. I need to get above that level of resistance. I'm thinking somewhere around 605, 606 might be a good buying point. FLS, bottom left, top right, 3820, rising. I like it. I don't like the falling volume, though, as the stock is moving up. I don't like the falling volume. Just keep your eyes on that. Price action is moving higher. I'd like to see it rising with rising volume like it did back here, like it did right here. All right. Kava. It's not an earnings play. Bounced off support, 3, 8, and 20. I'd like to see it take out this level of 71.50. 71.50. Love the move. It pulled back, found support, now rebounding. 71.50 or so would be a good buying point. Raytheon, you gotta love. Is that Raytheon? It says RTX. I'm thinking that's Raytheon. It says diversified companies. It should be aerospace and defense. Anyway, it's above the 20, the 3 to 8, leveling out a little bit. I'd like RTX. Oh, here's Raytheon. Thank you, Penny. This is what I thought. I'd like to see me get above this level of 103.90. 103.90, which show that we still have movement or momentum to the upside. All right? No. How about just no? Ain't nothing good about it. Ain't nothing going on but the rent. You got to have a JOB if you want to be. I'm not feeling it. The 3 may cross above the 8. It's got to show me a little bit more of that. Rolls-Royce makes small fusion reactors. I like Rolls-Royce. It's a solid company. All right. I think that's it for today. We didn't have as many of your stocks to look at, but hey, type of 1 if it was worth it for you to stop by today. It's type of 1. All right. We brought in how to look at stocks for earnings, built a graph for it so you guys can always, no matter what earnings is coming out, always put it into a VectorVest graph to be able to do so. So, you know me, I always like to try to bring something to the table every time I have a live stream. Kava will be the new Chipotle. Too much money for a burrito company. Talk about burritos. I think after this, I'm just hungry. I think I'm going to go to Taco Bell. I think I'm going to do that. I always learn something when I watch your presentations. Great job, Glenn. Thank you for that. Pennywise says, I always come out of your vids with something interesting and of value. Thank you all for that. Glenn, you haven't checked my stocks in a while. It's not like I cherry pick who I get the stocks from, Latinda. Latinata. Sorry, Latinata. It's not like I cherry pick. I just ask for the stocks and then I just go down the list. I never cherry pick. Thanks, Glenn. Thanks again to Glenn and all who have served our country. Same thing. I got to say things to all that, to everyone out there as well. All right. Are there YouTube videos every day? Yes. There's a 6 p.m. video every day. Joey gets tired of me of telling you goodbye like 17 times, but I love talking to you guys. All right. How many likes did we get? 107. Way to go. All right. I'm really going to go this time. Adios. Joey, can I say goodbye one more time?
Let's go ahead and start from the top and just go ahead and start from the top of the chat and we'll work our way back down.
Okay. I'm going to start from the top of the and read all of the questions.
All of them.
Okay. Glenn, you ignore my... I don't ignore anybody's picks. You guys do see all of the stocks that come through, right? You do. Prakash, you do see all of the stocks that come through, right? All right. Adios. Arrivederci. Ciao. Au revoir. Sayonara. Aloha to all my peeps in Hawaii. Odabu. Bom dia. Salam. Shalom. Namaste. Yasu. Until the next time, folks. See ya.